Welcome back to your Toledo Underdogs and our Underdogs Champion Series, and we are going into the most important season, I think, we've had in a long time. It is season number 8, and we've only made the playoffs once, and we didn't win a game in the playoffs in that time. So it's time to adjust the way we're doing things. And thanks to Oysenholtz for commenting about the lines. These are the lines that he proposed, and I really do like these lines. McKenna with Lambert at center and Tippett. That's going to be a solid first line. We've got two playmakers and a sniper, +5 chemistry. It's golden. Then we've got Michelli with Lutz and Martone. All of these guys are listed in their role as a second line forward. They are getting a +2 chemistry, and hopefully it's going to make Martone happier. He's going to get more performance, and he's going to be back to the Martone that he should be. Then, the third line is Tuomo Ristolainen, Jarnqvist, and Ronald Steckel. This is a full rookie line. Tuomo Ristolainen is making his debut here after a really good season in Rochester. And then we've got Jarnqvist, who we just signed, the first overall pick, as well as Ronald Steckel, thanks to the LA Kings and the Yuri Kulik trade for getting us that second overall pick. Finally, the fourth line is Tero Vallon, Tommy Jokinen, and William Huo. So those are fine. On the blue line, we've got Shaw, Chubarov, Persson, Parik, and Trudeau and Regula. I think Persson is a good foil for Zane Parik. We may move Trudeau up there because he is a defensive defenseman, and we are finally getting Zane Parik to try and convert to an offensive-minded defenseman. With the puck skills category he's got, I think he's perfect for it. He's a really good two-way defender either way, but I think as an offensive defenseman, I think he could help us out a ton. And then obviously in goal, we have a tremendous goaltending tandem of Lincoln Gardner and Mika Pitkinen. So we've got a big season ahead of us, guys. Let's start the simulation. What an absolutely flying start to the season we have here, guys. 8-1 to start the year. First month in the books, just jumping in because 8-1 is absolutely insane for the way we started. Gavin McKenna with 15 points in 9 games. There we go. That's what we wanted to see. We're 4th in goals for per game, 14th in goals against, so that's not too bad. We're first on the power play at 38%, and our penalty kill, well, it needs some work. Mika Pitkinen is 1 win in 1 game played, 2.77 goal against average for him, so that's really not too shabby. You guys can see in the standings, we are at the top of the Atlantic. Yes, we've played more games than the Leafs and the Bruins, but we're 6 points clear of them and 4 points clear of the Lightning, who have played the same amount of games. So we are banking the wins now, and things are looking good. Gavin McKenna's up to a 93. Lambert, really that top line, Tippett is scoring a lot of goals. Now, the second line also looks to be great, so Oysenholtz, shout out to you, my guy, because this is looking pretty good. But 8 goals, we're shooting some pretty high percentages here, but McKenna, 2 goals, 13 assists, hoping that I did want to show you guys this. We are trying to get him the third eye zone ability. So getting third eye out of a superstar to a zone ability with 60 assists. We are on pace for that by far. He's on pace to have over 90 assists. So things are looking really, really good here. Now, it does seem to be there are some minus players. It's early yet. They're not big. The fourth line looks like crap. Harold Shaw's got 4 goals, -4. So third line, listen, it's early. These guys can clearly switch it up, but we've got a strong start to the season. And there we have it, guys. Zane Parik is able to become an offensive-minded defenseman. And you can see he's got the acceleration, speed, agility, balance boost. His morale's going up, the individual morale, the management morale. We love to see it. So now we have an offensive-minded defenseman. And it's finally happening, guys. The dominance that we expected from this roster is coming to fruition. 7-2-1 in our last 10 games. It does include a pretty brutal loss to the New Jersey Devils. I haven't seen their record, so we will check it out in just a second. But let's go with the Atlantic Division just because it'll be easier for us. We did win this game. They are 10-9-2, so they're about a 500 team. They did absolutely destroy us. I don't know, was it here in December? It might have been. Oh yeah, there it is. A 10-2 loss there. I mean, Jack Hughes gets the game-winning goal, but 3-5-2, that is not what you want to see it at all. I don't know who took the biggest beating. Persson, Steckel, Shaw. Yeah, that's a rough game. Chubarov played almost 30 minutes and was a -3. So honestly, impressive in a 10-2 loss that he was only that bad. But you can see that we got a chance to get some revenge against the Devils this time. We are now 1st in goals for per in the league and 8th in goals against. 14th on the power play. It's down to 19%. The penalty kill does need to improve a bit, but I do think switching to the offensive-minded coach has really helped us out a ton. And Michelli now leads the team in points. So as a reminder, guys, we played 34 games, 51 points, 8 ahead of the Lightning with a game in hand, 10 ahead of the Bruins, and we are clear of being out of the playoffs by, 12 points. So we're looking really, really solid. We have a game against the Hurricanes, Lightning. I mean, are there any big ones that maybe we can jump in and analyze at all coming up? I'll take a quick look here. We've got LA, Vancouver, Pittsburgh, the Vegas Golden Knights. I guess Vancouver's a good team for sure, but we are really good. We beat the Sharks 3-2. I wish I could can I just click on the game? No, unfortunately I can't just click on the game to take a look at it. That'd be a great improvement. EA to just be able to see that way, but we got a couple games against Boston. These are a great back-to-back to test us. January is going to be a big month, and I hope no regression happens, but let's take a look at the stats. And I just want to highlight it right now. The Martone resurgence is here. 14 goals, 18 assists, plus 22. Almost a point per game player at second line right winger, 85 overall, and he is developing exactly the way we want him to. He's got the shot, which is coming around. He's got the offensive awareness and the puck control. I'd love to see his passing get a bit better. His defense does need to improve. I mean, if he could learn how to skate, that'd be great. But I got him shooting for 40 assists so that he can get the third eye superstar ability. It kind of felt like the right one if we're going to be a good offense, that everybody's going to get assists, secondary assists, right? Those count too. He's basically on pace to get there. Same thing with Gavin McKenna. He's at an assist per game at this point. He's not scoring much, but that is okay. Honestly, I want to move up a guy like Cooper Lutz to be the goal scorer on that top line, but he's not quite listed as being ready. Owen Tippett, 17 goals in 34 games is great. Cooper Lutz playing less time, scoring more goals. So it's something to think about here. Let's see. As far as the shots, who is leading the team in shots? Because that's something I've been looking at. And Cooper Lutz, yeah. Owen Tippett's second on the team in shots. And third on the team in shots is actually Harold Shaw, who's seen his plus-minus rebound, which has been nice. So these two guys cannot be on the same line, Lutz and Tippett. And I'm thinking maybe I want Lutz to be the number one center. Although Brad Lambert could be helping the two-way game. Both lines are working. I don't really want to switch it up too much. Cooper Lutz, I set him a goal of scoring, I believe. Yeah, 50 goals this season. He's getting close to it. So maybe, just maybe, I'll flip-flop him, see how this next month goes, and put him up there. But it looks like, yeah, his takeaways aren't good, but neither are Tippett's, but he's not giving the puck away as much. Lambert isn't really doing well either as far as protecting the puck, which is what I thought a guy like Brad Lambert would do. As an elite first-line two-way forward, I thought he would be better with that. Michelli, though, is perfect for exactly what we were talking about. Martone is looking okay. Charnqvist, actually, Kim Charnqvist, by the way, up to an 86, a sniper with a great shooting category, looks to be one of those guys that's going to develop to be a very, very well-rounded player. I haven't talked too much about the blue line, but looking at it here, we can see Chubarov and Shaw, they're starting to get back into the positives here. Perrick and Pearson are fine pairing, but our best pairing is actually Trudeau and Alec Regula. This is a guy, if you remember, I looked at his stats from the AHL, and I think I looked at his hits and his block shots. That's what I really went for, and it seems to be working. As far as a third pairing guy, I can't really complain about it. And Trudeau, if he keeps developing like this, Rene Trudeau, we're in business here. He didn't look great as far as hits and blocks, but honestly, if the third pairing is going to be as good as it is, I'm all for it. And then finally, the goaltending has actually been a little subpar. I would have hoped that Lincoln Gardner would have a sub-3 goal against average, but it really is Mika Pitkinen who is just dominating right now, and that's good. He's elite. High elite starting goaltender, and he's a backup for us, so we'll eventually see him take the reins in the net, but that's why I didn't want to sign Lincoln Gardner for too long. You can see here, he's only signed for 2 additional seasons after this one at 7.5. Pitkinen is signed for how many additional seasons? Just 1, so we might have to make a decision, but right now, guys, I'm pumped. Now, I haven't made any line changes, guys, but we did get to a pretty massive game. I know it's just a random game in January, but this is our litmus test against another dominant team in the Colorado Avalanche. You can see we have 67 and 45. They have 59 and 43, so really, honestly, pretty close to us. If they won both of their games in hand on us, that would be 4 points. They'd have 63. We have 67. So this is a really, really strong litmus test for us. The goaltending looks similar between the two teams. Georgiev has only got 18 wins in his 30. So we can see that. But taking a look at the comparison between the two teams, Cale Makar is 69 points is crazy for a defenseman at this point in the season in fewer games than we've played. But you can see that our special teams are average, which is all we need because we are a top 10 5-on-5 team. It's the third best offense against the first best offense. So let's go ahead, jump into the sim. We're at the doghouse. Let's see how we do. In the first period, it's 0-0. Okay, so number 1 and number 3 offenses aren't really showing up right now. It's the defenses coming to play. Second period, 1-1. Perrick jumping up in the rush and Nathan McKinnon scoring there. But it is 1-1. This is a low-scoring affair between two of the top teams in the NHL. And in the third period, we go to overtime. It's Casey Middlestat takes the lead, but Cooper Lutz bounces back. And I was saying I was going to put him on the top line, but I didn't end up doing that. I think maybe having the 90 overall matchup-minded centerman with McKenna and Tippett is probably better than having Cooper Lutz up there. Just because I feel like he's still listed as a second line forward. He's having a great season. Why mess with it if it's not broken? So let's jump in, watch this overtime, and maybe even a shootout. I will say the one thing we lack are these zone abilities. I'd love to see us develop a bit more into that. But there we go. McKenna wins the faceoff back to Tippett, who gets into the zone. We're wearing the gold alternates here, guys. They're just wanted to show them off. I think we've worn other colors in the past. Cal McCarr is a 2-on-1. He's got the speed. Over to Rantanen. Shot scored. And in overtime, a 2-on-0 turns right into a goal. So obviously, things we can work on there. Our strategy maybe in overtime isn't the best. It's 3-on-3. It's not indicative of it. But I'm just happy to see us fight tooth and nail and play a defensive game and come away with a point. And we're sitting here a week before the deadline, guys, and honestly, shutting out the Anaheim Ducks, I feel like is a really good feat. They're not nearly as good as they were last year, but they still have Schottenberg, I believe is his name, who's just an absolutely insane player. But if we jump back out, take a look at where we're at. Still the number 1 team in offense, and our goals against keep getting better. We're learning how to play a strong two-way game while not sacrificing offense. And look at Gavin McKenna, 78 points at this point. Now, I don't think he's going to be leading the NHL in points by any stretch. He has hit 66 assists, and there it is. He's got the third eye zone ability now. It is gold, and I love it. It happens as soon as it happens, he gets it. We love to see that. Now he's paired with another gold in Lambert. Michelli here does get third eye because I believe I challenged him as well to get ability. And as a playmaker, he's got 71 points on that second line. That is exactly what we needed. Cooper Lutz has 38 goals. He's 12 away from turning Schneip into a zone ability as well. Owen Tippett, I don't believe I tasked him with anything this year. 50 goals. I think I just told him to get 50 goals because he's a 90 now. Holy mackerel, he has grown a 90, and he is on pace, I think, maybe for 50 goals. He's getting about a goal every, he's on pace for 40, so he would need to pick it up, but I'm still pumped about that. Porter Martone doing exactly what I wanted him to. 40 assists. He's 9 away. I don't see any reason he shouldn't get there. Ronald Steckel's rookie season, as well as Kim Charnquist's rookie season, 37 and 36 points. These guys are on pace for about 50 this season and about 30 goals for about both of them. So I love to see it. Chubarov is a big plus, so let's just stick with the forwards for now. Guys, things are looking great. And one of the things I'm noticing is that the giveaway to takeaway ratio is showing me who my best offensive, or just my best forwards are. Right, we look at McKenna. He's insane, right? He's a franchise player. He's insane. And we know he's having a ridiculous year. Michelli, though, has always been one of those guys with 90 assists or 90 takeaways, 40 giveaways, right? He's always had a pretty good ratio. And I think not giving him more ice time has hurt the team in the past. And then you got Kim Charnquist, who his trajectory looks like he's going to be an absolute superstar. Already an 86 in his first ever season. He's got the stats underlying, and you can see the takeaway ratio is massive. Now, you look at a guy like Cooper Lutz. He's been a guy that, probably don't want him on the first line. We'll see, though. He's an 87. He's going to continue to grow at 22. Maybe gets the X factor from 50 goals. But his giveaway to takeaway ratio isn't the best, and it never has really been the best. In his first 2 seasons, he was looking pretty good. These last 2, maybe not as much, but I think him playing against higher quality competition and eventually getting an X factor would be massive. Ronald Steckel, same thing. Porter Martone, they're looking on the right side of it. Taro Valen, another guy, a low elite second line winger who's playing on our third line. I think we're looking fantastic. And the switch for Zane Parik from two-way to offensive defenseman is looking really, really good. Now, unfortunately, he's dropped his potential to just medium top 4, and he probably is what he is at this point at 84 overall. But I am very, very happy that we have another offensive-minded defenseman to go with Harold Shaw. He can play in the middle pairing. He can play with Trudeau eventually, or he can continue to pair well with Walter Persson, who is an 80 overall, by the way. So maybe I want to consider flip-flopping him and Trudeau, but the fact that Regula and Trudeau are a plus almost 30 in our best pairing, I think says quite a bit. And you can see, guys, we have quite a few blocked shots this season, which is something I wanted to get more out of my defensemen. Shubarov and Shaw, they're both close to 100. Trudeau and Persson, I'm pretty sure I asked Shaw to block a lot of shots this season. No, 50 assists. How is he doing on that? He's got 12. So he's an offensive-minded defenseman that isn't really doing it for us. He's got Spinorama, which is crazy. But Chubarov, I believe I challenged him for something similar. Plus 30 this season. He's at plus 13. He might not get there. I'd love to see him get there. Trudeau, I believe I told him to eat pucks. Average 1 shot block per game. He's doing that. Walter Persson, I think I asked him to do something similar. I didn't actually, or unless he's already hit it. So we'll see. Finally, the goaltenders, we can see that Lincoln Gardner is improving. They both have a sub-3 goal against average, hovering in that high 2-point something. Mika Pikkinen is absolutely the future, I believe. I think he's looking insane right now. But Lincoln Gardner, surprised to see him as an 89. Butterfly, not do nearly as well, although I don't know. Maybe they both have 2 points, so good for them. It's looking great. And then rookie skaters, it's between Steckel and Charnqvist right now on our team. If you take a look at the entire league rookie race, they are leading it, tied with Guti here. Xavier Guti, I guess. You got Charnqvist and Steckel really do have the leg up, though, with the plus-minus. They're not on a bad team, and I don't think they might be getting as much ice time. Actually, they're all getting similar amounts of ice time, so that's pretty interesting to see that. So really, really happy with where the team's at. Let's go to the deadline where I don't think we're going to need to make any moves. I really don't want to make any moves. And then there's a game that I want to come back for. It's against Toronto. It's after the deadline. I want to show you guys that one and then ride out the rest of the sim. So let's jump in to the deadline. I'll let you know if something happens, or if it doesn't, we'll talk at the Toronto game. So I have a question for you guys, and I think it's a big one here. We got to know what to do with Owen Tippett. In my opinion, I think we let him walk. He's expiring, and we have a lot of talent behind him, a lot of medium elites that should be developing and growing. Like we can see Ronald Steckel already up to an 86 right now, power forward that could absolutely help out the top line there. Porter Martone as well. Maybe Cooper Lutz develops into a top line winger. Kim Charnqvist goes there, and we leave Cooper Lutz on the second line, right? We've got options. Taro Valen's low elite. He needs a contract extension. I believe I'm giving him somewhere in the 3 million range for a couple seasons, which I think is totally fine. We have 23 in cap space, by the way. So I think Tippett is one of those guys at 33. He's having a career year for sure, but he's one of those guys that I don't think we see him long-term. I want to know, who would you pick from the team right now to replace Tippett on that top line? That'll help me understand in the offseason, who should I potentially give more ice time to or focus more attention to, or maybe I need to bring Tippett back because I don't like our options. But I love the idea of Martone or Steckel or Charnqvist being promoted to that spot once Tippett walks. So I'm flipping through the teams at the deadline, guys, and I just wanted to show you that Filip Zadina is on the trade block from Nashville. They took him 1 year, and they're like, you know what? We don't want him as much anymore. So they are probably trying to sell off and tank, considering they want to get rid of Novak and Zadina. But in 61 games played, he's got 48 points and is a minus 18. He's playing 21 minutes, so I'd have to assume he's on the top line. And remember, we got their first round pick, but if you take a look at where they are in the standings, it's not as good as you might think. So taking a look at the Western Conference, they're currently sitting in 9th at 59 points. However, you know, they're not that far off from falling off a little bit. I didn't think that they were going to be as good as they are. Maybe last season was the fluke when they finished as the #1 overall pick, but we should at least have a good chance at the lottery, assuming they don't get hot here after selling at the deadline and make the playoffs, because that's just something that happens. Unfortunately, guys, nobody's got any prospecty type players out there for us to go and acquire like we did with Taro Valen from the or Tyler Lavin, I think it was, from the Dallas Stars. I'm going to get those two confused for the rest of their career, but either of those type of players are not available, so I think the deadline is done for us. There's nobody I want to move out, right? Our season is still very strong, so I'm not moving on from Owen Tippett anytime soon. So let's go ahead, get to that Toronto game, and close out this successful, I'm already going to call it a success, season number 8. Here we go, guys. A massive matchup between two of the league's best, the two best teams in the league, 99 points apiece. The winner's going to get to 100, and if it goes to overtime, well, both of us do. But after the trade deadline, well, there was a 4-game losing streak in the middle there, and then we picked up 3 straight wins, 2 against the Canadiens. We played them 3 times in the month of March, so I mean, if we were fighting for them for a wild card spot, this would be huge, but we did knock them off twice. They're in a wild card spot with 82 points in 69 games, so you can really see that a lot is settled right now. I mean, the Red Wings and the Lightning are still there, I would say, so, and then the Islanders too. So it's not settled, but we have a big match against the Leafs, so let's see what the season series is. It's probably a grudge match if I had to guess. Yep, and we are so far 3-0 against the Leafs this season. Lambert got a hat trick the last time we played. When we won 4-1, he got 4 points. What a night. But you can see 1 versus 2 in goals for, 6 versus 7 in goals against, and they were our first ever playoff opponent. The power play is in their favor pretty significantly. Penalty kill, they're literally tied. They must have a smaller decimal point advantage than we do. And Austin Matthews has got 20 points on Gavin McKenna, but damn, does it feel good to see 94 points so far through 69 games. So matchup number 70 of the season. Let's see how we do. We are on home ice against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So let's get it started. This is a big one. This could be like the division decider, right? We got a little bit of an advantage, right? Maybe not if we lose, but if we win, we've got the tiebreaker. So let's see if we can do it. I say we have the tiebreaker because we've got the tiebreaker right now because we're tied on points, and we just want to extend our lead in the division from 0 points to 2. So let's go. First period, and it's 3-1 on home ice. Your Toledo Underdogs have come out strong. Gustav Chubarov, Mitch Marner for them, and then Michelli and Regula. So 2 defensemen for us. We have a 3-1 lead early. After the second period, Harold Shaw scores. Mitch Marner gets his second. And then in the third period, Toronto's going to tie it with 33 to go. 2.5 minutes. We collapse. Let's get into overtime. On paper, we are the slightly better team, but oh, look at that. We got the, I don't know what that means, but it's the grudge match boost for us. So we love to see that. They are going to win the faceoff. Chubarov. Oh my God, we let Matthews walk right in. Pitkanen is in net. Our backup. We played our backup in this game. We have a back-to-back. We play at home, and then tomorrow we fly on the road to Utah. And wow, Mitch Marner moves up to 103 points on the season. Hey, Gavin McKenna's not far off, but Gavin McKenna does get the boost there. He's number 72 for us. Tippett picks it up, but can't get it. McKenna, strong game from him. We got a 2-on-1 developing. Tippett now tries to dangle. Tippett loses the puck, tries to hit Marner and misses, and now Matthews is 1-on-1 with Chubarov. Matthews now with the puck. He's going to dangle. He lifts the stick. Marner in tight. What a save by Pitkanen. Puck is loose. Matthews gets it. Chubarov clears it. Not far enough, though. Marner takes the shot. It's blocked. Oh, my goodness. Chubarov just tries to get it out. Matthews down low. We got Tippett there. Tippett, just get the puck out. We're under full pressure. Nice shoot. Saved. Tippett with the puck. Is he going to skate it out or is he going to pass it out? He's going to skate it out. He gets it all the way into the Toronto zone. Tippett tries to cross in front. Can't get it there. We desperately need a line change. We desperately need a line change. Toronto's fresh. Nyes is going to dangle basically back out of the zone. Good back check there. Great save from Pitkanen. McKenna dangerously to Perrick, who now skates it up. Beautiful pass to Tippett. Tippett needs to get off the ice. He toe drags. Tippett, get off the ice, bud. Tippett, get off the ice. We had a man join the rush. It's a 2-on-1. Nylander in front, shoots, scores. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to... Guys, it's another overtime loss. Gosh darn it. We lost to Colorado in a similar fashion, but we could not get off the ice. They hemmed us in there that one time. Tippett didn't make it a point to get to the bench. And I do think EA needs to work on the 3v3 logic for the players. They don't really think about 3-on-3 like real players think about 3-on-3. It makes it a lot fun for me to yell and talk about, but Perrick, there's just nobody there. Who was that on the back check? 57, Lutz. yeah, there's nothing he can do there, right? He jumped in to join when he didn't really play too conservatively. Maybe we're aggressive, but bummer to see us lose in overtime. We only dropped 1 point, but that means we're now second in the division. What a game from Pitkanen. He's got a bright future, let me tell you. Final 5 or 6 games of the season. The Leafs have a game in hand, and they're 2 points ahead of us. They've gotten those couple overtime losses. They've been able to take it to overtime where we haven't. 107, it feels downright gross that we have 107 points and could end up finishing second at this point. We'll see what happens, but we have, a decent schedule to finish it out here. We've got Red Wings, Flyers, Senators, all games we should be winning. Third best offense, 7th best defense. You'd assume that we're going to win those games. McKenna on 100 points. So let's get into the sim, get down to the last 3, see how many games Toronto has left, get to Columbus. Columbus is a good team. Tampa's a good team, and so we finish. Okay, so we got to bank these 3 right now. We beat Detroit in a shootout in the last one. Hopefully, we do show our dominance here and are able to close out these games the way we need to as a top team. There we go. Toronto does win their game. We beat the Detroit Red Wings. Okay, against Philly, we are going to win, and we tie it up with the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Toronto Maple Leafs have 113. We have 113. We got more wins. They're overtime loss merchants, dude. Come on. The Avs are crazy. Oh, my God. They're in a similar boat to us. But 112 is the next best. So, we might be the second best team in the league right now. All right. Columbus, though, where's Columbus? Columbus is, they're fighting for their playoff lives. They're 1 point behind the Lightning. So we could, they have a lot to play for, but so do we. I don't want to be the 2 seed. I want to be the 3 seed. Against Columbus, what's going to happen? We lose outright, but so do the Leafs. We have a chance. We have a chance here to still claim the Atlantic. Against Tampa Bay, in this one, we are going to, the Seattle Kraken have fired Damian Sharp. Oh no, he gets fired again, a season and a half away from when he was fired by us. That is brutal. A 1-0 gutsy win, and we are now tied with the Leafs again at 115. 115 points. Let's get to this matchup against Columbus. Is it the final day of the season for everybody? We'll see. We are now ahead of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We control our own destiny here against Columbus. We could win the Atlantic with a win here, and we haven't beaten Columbus yet. Some about them we do not match up well. Let's take a look at the standings, see just what's on the line here. So all we need to do is match Toronto's result. If we take a look at the entire league, Vancouver's the number 1 team in the league. A win or an overtime loss and a Vancouver loss means that, so as long as Vancouver doesn't win, we have a chance at the Presidents as well. That is insane to me. But let's go ahead and just get into this game, guys. Can I see the box scores from today? Like, what's upcoming? I can, and it is the final day of the season for Toronto, who plays Tampa. That's a tough one. Both of these teams, this is a huge 2 matchups, right? Because Tampa Bay is not in a wild card position, but could be if the Blue Jackets lose to us and they beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. So Tampa's rooting for us. Columbus is rooting for Toronto. It's anybody's. There's a lot at stake here. Let's go into the game. Let's jump into it. Game 82, a lot on the line here. Feels cathartic almost to be in this position instead of where we have been. But after the first period, we're down 1-0. Dumais, he was good in the last one. Second period, we're down 2-0 with a power play goal from Columbus. Do we have a third period comeback? Tommy Jokinen, he signed an extension, by the way, 2 years, 1.5. We get a power play chance. Can we tie it? We cannot. We're still down by 1, though. A point would be massive. Getting it to overtime would be absolutely massive. And with 5 minutes to go, can we do it? 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Is there a hero? No, there's not. And we lose 2-1 to Columbus, who I believe punches their ticket to the postseason. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, though, lose. The Leafs have lost. The Toronto Maple Leafs lost. Oh my goodness, we finished first in the conference, so we aren't going to get and Vancouver lost, so even a point there, getting 1 goal would have gotten it for us. But a 5-1 win from Tampa means that we are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and that means we have a date with the Columbus Blue Jackets, who we have yet to beat this year. They're literally, oh no, don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. All right. But we are at the end of the regular season. There is one more day worth of games. So let's go ahead, get to the season's end, and there it is. All 82 games have been played for all 32 teams. And it is now time to take a look at how we did. And we can see Cooper Lutz had 42 goals, did not get the 50 goals I had asked of him, but Gavin McKenna, love to see that. So let's take a look at the point leaders in the NHL. It is, oh my God, Matthews, McDavid, Draisaitl, Pasternak, Makar, Marner. I mean, that is crazy. If we can get somebody close to that, Gavin McKenna's getting there. I feel like he needs a better goal scorer on his line, and we might have that because he's not a goal scorer himself, right? We know that. He's not gonna put up more than 20 goals a season. But we got him with 83 assists. Brad Lambert with 94 points, 37 goals. I love to see that. I really, really do. And then Michelli with 91. Guys, he is the perfect second line forward. He's got the X factor now for us. Cooper Lutz with 42. And, honestly, a really well-rounded season from him. Was hoping he would get a bit more, but honestly, love to see that from him. Owen Tippett, 36 goals, right? He's supposed to be the goal scorer on the top line, but that looks like it's Brad Lambert. And then Porter Martone, really good bounce back season, 61 points there on that second line, had a tremendous plus minus, so he was not a defensive liability whatsoever. And I'm pretty happy that we did end up keeping him around. Now, he did not hit the 40 assists like we hoped, but that's all right. As far as the rookie race, it is Kim Charnqvist by a mile, 31 goals for him, 52 points, only a +8. So we're working on it, but how is his giveaway takeaways? That's what you love to see, 57-31. So he's on pace to be a really, really strong player. And same thing with Steckel. Taro Valen played on that third line with him. He's a second line forward at this point. Listen, guys, our third line put half a point per game. Like, that is crazy good. And then the fourth line, it's not the best, but it's also not enough to really sink our season. Taking a look at the blue liners, Chubarov, Shaw, Perrick, those are the guys leading in points. But as far as plus minus, Regula, he hasn't played in the NHL ever. I mean, since real life, he played 4 games in this entire sim. He didn't even play a hockey game after 2025 until 2028. Took another 2 seasons off, really. And then comes back, plays on our third line, plus 42. He blocks 75 shots. I mean, his giveaway to takeaway ratio is horrible, but I just brought him in for the block shots. Trudeau, Persson, they're continuing their develop nicely. Rene Trudeau, 82, 80 for Walter Persson. So I'm hoping to see those guys develop a bit more. I don't know if they're going to put up points, but they did block shots tremendously. We got a good amount of block shots from our defense. And then goalies, Gardner does finish with above on 900, and then a 295. Guys, we finally have made it. And we play the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team that swept us in the regular season. I don't know. The lights are going to get bright. We'll see if that kind of thing holds, but we'll see how this turns out. Are you guys scared of the Columbus Blue Jackets, or are you guys feeling pretty optimistic about it, despite us not winning in the regular season? But that is all the time I have for this one, guys. Our second ever playoff appearance comes next as the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, so make sure to stay tuned for that one. Also, make sure to subscribe if you want to see some more. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.
It's a free for all, free